Welcome back. The Chief Secretary, Ernest issued a statement in which he said his resignation from the credit finance company was entirely unrelated to any movement of monies from that company to Gibraltar Investment Holdings, which had happened 2 years earlier. The comments by Gibraltar's top civil servant follow a recent Viewpoint programme in which the leader of the opposition said the former financial secretary and Mr. Gomez had resigned as directors of Credit Finance Company Limited in October 2014, about the time that £355 million was transferred from Credit Finance to Gibraltar Investment Holdings Limited. Mr. Gomez said he would not be drawn into the political issues between the Chief Minister and the opposition leader, but he said he felt it's important to clarify the matter. His statement can be found in full on our website. A man accused of attacking 3 men on separate occasions was found not guilty this week at the Supreme Court. A jury of 9 delivered a unanimous verdict. They found 38-year-old Charles Dillon Bader not guilty on all 3 counts, which included robbery and attempted robbery. In his closing statement, defence lawyer Lee Lebono described the case as riddled with doubt. Emotions were high in the courtroom, with Mr. Bader's family and friends cheering each new verdict. Mr. Bader spoke to GBC, saying he believes in the Gibraltarian justice system, and he knew out of all this darkness that light would prevail. The Minister for Employment, Neil Costa, told GBC this week he expects the reform of the industrial tribunal system to be completed by July. This follows his visit to the UK to familiarise himself with the system there. Mr. Costa has ruled out introducing fees for taking a case of unfair dismissal to a tribunal, as the Chamber of Commerce has urged. And the government is also unlikely to reimpose a cap on the basic award a tribunal may make. Stephen Nish spoke to him.
Well, the representations mostly centre on various issues. For instance, the question of fees, the question of costs, and the rules setting out specifically what the powers of chairpersons are. Without boring your viewers, the Industrial Tribunal regulations provide for very little specific guidance on what chairpersons can and cannot do, whereas the English regulations set out very fully what it is that chairpersons can do within those powers. And therefore, we intend to adapt but very much follow the UK rules and bring those powers to the chairpersons.
And on the question of fees, what is the government thinking?
On the question of fees, I've already said in Parliament that the government will not be introducing fees, and the reason is twofold. There has been a vertiginous drop in the number of cases being brought to the Industrial Tribunal since the introduction of fees, and we think that that would be to deny a person who may have been unfairly dismissed to access justice. But secondly, it's a very interesting statistic. The reason that the coalition government, or one of the reasons why the coalition government gave in introducing fees, was because they wanted to do away with claims which were vexatious and unreasonable. So you would have thought that by introducing fees, which means that the person who's been unfairly dismissed is so sure of his case that he will pay the fee, you would think that the employee would always win. But the ratio of losses and wins to employers and employees were the same, which has meant that the fees have had no appreciable impact on that question.
I suppose the Chamber of Commerce will be quite disappointed with what you've just said, because, as you were mentioning yourself, it is one of their main demands that there should be an introduction of fees, which they say reduces the number of cases that are taken to a tribunal.
Yes, I have already brought this point up with the President of the Chamber of Commerce, but I've told them that the way that the reforms will deal with cases that are thought by a chairperson to be frivolous or vexatious or unreasonable is by allowing the chairperson to award real costs against the person whom, in the opinion of the chairman, has brought a vexatious claim.
And the Chamber is satisfied with that?
Well, we haven't fully discussed the entirety of the proposals, but I'm sure that when we sit down, they will see the point that, on the basis of the statistics in the UK, that all that is shown is that there's been an 80% drop in the number of people accessing justice, but that the introduction of the fees has not meant that every single case brought by the employee has been won, which was the point of introducing the fees. I think we would be able to reach the suitable compromise, which is to punish people who bring cases which may be considered to be stupid by way of costs.
And in respect of another of the Chamber's demands that there should be a reintroduction of the upper limit that a tribunal can award, is that something the government is looking at?
Well, in respect of the basic award and the fact that the upper limit was removed by Minister Vosano, that was done simply to restore the position as it was before Mr. Montiel changed the position. But whereas we do not think that we will introduce a general cap on the basic award, we will certainly lay out in the rules how the basic award is to be calculated, so that there will be specific guidelines enshrined in secondary legislation on the method of computation, so that will provide the respondent a way of knowing what amount it is that they may be liable to pay.
Okay, and very finally, it is, of course, a specific manifesto commitment of the GSOP Liberals that there should be a reform of the industrial tribunal system before the election. You're running out of time.
Well, I may be running out of time. If the Chief Minister were to call the election today, of course, I wouldn't have been able to complete it. But I've got to work on the basis that I will be able to complete the reforms. And I think that if I'm allowed the window to do so, we should be able to have them completed by before the end of this parliamentary session, which will be by the end of July.
The boardroom of the Financial Services Commission was bugged last year, though it's not clear by whom or for what reason. This was revealed by the Gibraltar Chronicle and confirmed by the Royal Gibraltar Police, who described the technology as an unsophisticated listening device. Police Superintendent Cathal Yates said there's no established link to the tracking device found on a vehicle last year, which is the subject of a separate inquiry. Both matters remain under investigation, and when contacted by GBC, the Financial Services Commission said they had nothing to add to the police's comments on this matter. Speed indicators have now been installed in various roads around Gibraltar. It follows the findings by the RGP working together with the government of hotspots in and around the Rock where speeding has been more common and areas where accidents have taken place, in some cases fatal. The speed indicators do just that, indicating the velocity of the oncoming vehicles to ensure the driver is aware of the speed they're travelling and that they're adhering to the limits in the vicinity. Their installation comes as a recommendation and combines the speed prevention along with the placing of speed cameras in various areas of Gibraltar.
Well, there are 10 of these units at the moment, and 2 of them are positioned on Rosa Road. There are 4 units on Devil's Tower Road, which is a known hotspot for speeding. There are 2 down in Waterport Road, and there's 2 up in Europa Advanced Road. There are areas which are notorious for people speeding, and there are also areas where accidents have occurred in the past, even ones with fatalities. So together with the RGP and the recommendations from the Technical Department, which is Technical Services Department, we have come up with these locations which we thought were the best locations to place these signs. Now, as this will then be followed in certain locations with the implementation of speed cameras and fixed speed cameras, which will help supplement the police's efforts when they do their roving speed campaigns as well.
Where are we with the speed cameras?
Well, the speed cameras are an extremely technical piece of equipment, and they need to be set up extremely accurately. So they're already in Gibraltar, and we have to we're actually looking into the actual way of painting certain lines that are needed on the highway itself. Now that provides a backup, so it's not just what the speed camera, the photograph tells us. There's also on the highway, there's a grid painted on the highway, and there's 2 photographs taken in quick succession, which gives us a manual way of seeing the speed and calculating the speed for ourselves. So it just gives us the assurance that the car was in fact speeding, and that is extremely important when cases of speeding are taken to court.
The Royal Gibraltar Police is confident the indicators will help curb accidents, and as part of the 3 pillars of Operation Roadwatch, awareness, education and enforcement, this will make people more aware of their speed on the road.
This is one of the areas where we've identified that people do tend to exceed the speed limit. It's been backed up by data collected by technical services, and we've taken an informed decision on where these signs, these radars should go up to advise people that they may be exceeding the limit and that they should slow down.
As part of the traffic plan, government also intends to carry out a speed limit review with the help of the indicators and eventually speed cameras. Statistics will show what speed the average motorist is doing and whether the average is close to the limit, on point or over, and from there decide if a change of speed limit needs to be implemented in that vicinity. The Rock Hotel has undergone a multi-million-pound refurbishment resulting in a major transformation. Although the building retains its original structure, every facility and area has been improved and modernized. Investors are confident they can meet the needs of the travel industry and believe the hotel provides a unique experience for Gibraltar.
The refurbishment has injected new life into the building. The vision was a clear one: the need to retain the hotel's colonial past whilst providing a modern, cutting-edge facility. Speaking at an event to mark the completion of the works, Chairman James Gallero described the occasion as a proud moment, saying it marked an exciting phase for all involved.
In many ways, it's the castle on the hill in Gibraltar where we have our deepest roots, and to see the Rock Hotel be brought back to life in this way is so fantastically exciting.
But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. The Bland Group of companies took over the management in 1959 and has seen plenty of challenges during this time.
It's been tough. Everything from the political repression imposed by Spain and the wretched closed border years through the endless problems of queues at the frontier have made it difficult. But with wonderful staff, and particularly having invested as much as we have done in getting this hotel right up to the 21st century, it really does give us a very, very good chance to create an oasis in a busy place.
What was the vision when undertaking a refurbishment of this nature, when every single corner of the hotel has been retouched in some way or another?
Absolutely, and that's the important thing. It's not just the superficial, the paint and the rooms, the decoration of the rooms. Every single bit of the hotel has been renewed. So all the plant, the machinery, the electricity, the plumbing, everything has been done. And so we now have a brand new hotel in Gibraltar, which will give us another, hopefully, 70 years.
The investment has been substantial, with those involved saying the refurbishment is a sure example of their commitment to the industry and more generally Gibraltar. But who does the hotel aim to target?
Well, the critical thing, obviously, is to be able to cater for the needs of modern travellers. You cannot be producing a hotel from 1930 today and think that's going to rub with the modern character of travellers. Today, people experience hotel projects around the world in an instant, virtually, whether by visiting them or by going online. And so you cannot deceive people and rest on your laurels from the past. So the critical thing is to be able to meet the needs of modern travellers. We believe we've captured that to perfection while still maintaining the wonderful charm that this place represents.
The Mockwood family also shares the vision, having invested in the hotel over the last 30 years. They say the changes signify a new direction.
I say even for Gibraltar, because having maybe one product or two or three like this one, Gibraltar will be something different and attract other people, and the image of the whole Gibraltar will maybe change little by little, with not just ourselves but with big projects. And so for me it's good to be part of it.
And the hotel has an interesting past, having attracted plenty of celebrities and famous personalities over the years. Many of these are now captured on a wall of fame.
I think at one stage in Gibraltar there was no other hotel to choose, and I'm talking about in the 40s, the 30s. As time went on, the Rock Hotel got a name for its customer service, for its beautiful light and space. The space that you can enjoy in this hotel is second to none in Gibraltar. And I think celebrities just chose to stay here. It's a little bit more private, it's that little bit more elegant, it just has that je ne sais quoi.
So the Rock Hotel enters a new era. Whilst maintaining its rich history and past, it now hopes to move into the 21st century.
And finally this week, local dancer Jonathan Lutwidge impressed the judges on Britain's Got Talent and is through to the next round, and also became a bit of an internet sensation. Plus, the Chief Minister and his wife Justine celebrated the birth of their second child, Oliver Luis Picardo, who shares his birthday with the Royal Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, born on the 2nd of May. Gibraltar marked the royal birth with a 21-gun salute at the naval base, and the Union flag was also flying from all public buildings. And that's all for News Review. For more, you can head over to our website, gbc.gi. You can also follow our regular updates on Twitter and Facebook as well. Thank you very much for watching. From the team, good night.